Hi, welcome back to my channel. So if you saw the thumbnail in this video, I'm going to be making some pretty ugly nails. I've made some mistakes. So this is 3 weeks growth on some builder in a bottle nails. These are my natural nails, so I'm just taking off all of the old product and I'm just going to take them down as much as I can. There's no lifting, so it's not really necessary to remove it completely, but I took off as much as I could. So some of the big mistakes that I made in this video while doing my nails, so I'm working on my non-dominant hand, or with my non-dominant hand, sorry. I'm using my right hand to do all of the filing, and I did not prep them well enough, bottom line. So this part here, like I only used a hand file when usually I use the arbor band to go in around that cuticle area to make sure it's nice and prepped. I haven't used hard gel in a while, so hard gel, you really have to make sure the nail is prepped, okay? So right now, I'm just continuing my prep where I'm taking care of my cuticles, and what I should have done was after this step, like of pushing them back, removing all the excess dead skin, and trimming the cuticles, I should have buffed the surface again. But I didn't, and this is just a lesson learned, and I'm going to show you guys. As I've said before, the queen of over trimming my cuticles. On myself only, not on clients. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and do a base coat. So before this, I should have prepped a little more with just removing some of that surface shine. But I'm just going to come in, put a nice little coat of clear. It's not really necessary. This is just a personal choice. I am using the GelPot number 3 on the rest of the nail, but for some reason I just feel like I should put a base coat. So it's like old habits, I guess. But I was really careful. I made sure I really, massaged that product in. But if you just didn't prep it right originally, the product will not stick properly. And in this video, I'll show you that. So now I'm going to put on my nail form. I find it so difficult when I'm doing my other hand, but you really want to roll the form, turn it, make it into that like C-curve shape, stick it together. These ones are really good because they're super sticky, so it's like the good thing, but the downside is because they are so sticky, holy heck, sometimes it can be really difficult to put them on. So what I'm doing is I'm fitting it. Then I'm going to take it off because I saw where the lines of my nails dug in, and now I'm going to trim it. Okay. I could have trimmed it more around the sides, just purely being a little lazy. Didn't want to break out the other scissors, but as you can see, it fits nice and snug right under the nail, so it looks like when I form my nail, it's going to come straight out in the exact same shape as my natural nail. So you want to come in. I'm building a long nail, as you can see. I was going to try and do the same design or something similar as I have on my left hand, on my right hand, but it was way too difficult. I don't have as good control with the E-file with my right hand as I do with my left, so right now I'm just making the general shape of what I want the nail to look like with just a very thin amount of gel, and then I'm going to come in, grab a little more, go in around the cuticle area and build out that nail a little bit. With this gel, because it gets quite hot, I like working it in layers. So I'll do one layer that's like, about 50% or 60% of the thickness that I want for the nail. If you feel more comfortable with just building out the extension first, curing that, then going in doing another layer and curing that, by all means, do whatever feels most comfortable to you. There is no like one method, you know, like building the whole nail all at once. Like you don't have to do that. So for this nail, I'm just like kind of like swooshing the product, walking it down the nail, getting the general shape. It is self-leveling gel, so you'll notice I will flip my hand upside down, and I'm gonna try and pull the bulk of that bulk of the product that is at the front of the nail and bring it to the middle. I said premium, by the way. I work in insurance, so that's really funny. Anyone who knows me. Now I'm going to do a second coat. The first coat I cured for 60 seconds. Now I'm going to build in a second coat. The beautiful thing with GelPot gel is that it really blends together nicely. Like when you do multiple layers of this gel, you can never tell that you did multiple layers. It just blends in so nicely and cures so well. And I'm just filling in some areas where I feel like there's not enough gel. And then I'm gonna flip my finger over again, just trying to get that apex in the right place. So pull the product where you want it to go. Very, very light touch. This is not, you don't need to be heavy-handed. You want to be very gentle and just gently grab a tiny bit of that product, and it'll just kind of like, it's like a little string of it that you'll pull. So you can see I'm like just pulling it. And then I'm gonna cure it again for 60 seconds. And I wiped the nails off with alcohol, and now I am filing. So I'm not very good with the file on this in this hand. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to like brace myself against myself, as you see my fingers. But you want to work the cuticle area, try and blend it in as well as you can. Go down the middle, front middle of the nail to make sure that's all even in one thickness, or not like lumpy, I guess. And then now I'm going to come in with the hand file. Now here's where I really made a mistake. I didn't file the nail into more of like a point, so they ended up looking like super rounded. And when your nails are this long and rounded, it makes them look like it's like a rounded like duck nail. Like I show you photos of what I'm comparing it to and what in my head what I think they look like, and then I kind of go over what I should have done. So where I should have filed some more was near the tip, the sides of the tip, and then down to make the shape better. So they're like almost the same length, but then, you know, I turned it and I was like, whatever. I was like, it's fine. But this is where that's where I should have filed more of it off to give it a more, you know, visually appealing shape, to make it more pointed. You could still round it off at the top to make it like an almondetto shape, but that's where I should have, you know, filed a little more off. To be honest, I was like really tired, and I was like, God, doing my opposite hand with nails this long is so difficult, but I just kind of committed to it. And then I noticed, oh look, I have lifting there, so that's improper prep, and lifting there, more improper prep. Oh wait, we have more lifting on my thumb. So that's all purely because I didn't prep my nails properly. Because I am a nail tech, I'm going to paint over them, but I'm not going to leave them like that for long, because you can get bacteria and everything built up under the nail there, and it can cause, you know, some diseases. So me, it was only on for like 1 to 2 weeks, and then I removed it. So that's just a sidebar. So now I'm coming in, I'm committing, okay, at this point. Gilly is the color that I'm using, and I'm like, I really wanted to do an ombre look. Now hindsight, I wish I had started the ombre closer to the tip of the nail so that it had more area to be faded. But I am happy with the fade itself. So don't get me wrong, the fade, the, you know, ombre looks really nice against the pink, and it was really easy to do. I'm just kind of like patting and pressing the brush into the gel, and now I think it could be the gel as well, because it does move really nicely. Wipe off your brush in between because it starts getting built up with product, and then you don't want that product to go in a place where you don't want pink to be. So that's why you've got to wipe it off in between. And then once I'm happy with it, I will cure it. So now I'm coming in with a second coat. This color does dry a lot darker than it applies, which kind of sucks because I love the way it applies. It's such a bright, like almost like neon color, and then it dries like pretty dark, but it's okay. It's still beautiful. So yeah, just press it, kind of pull a little bit of the product up, fade it down a little bit, wipe it off if you need to in between. And then now I'm just top coating this. And then as I was doing this, I was like, why does like the tip of them look so wide? And then like I just made it worse by ombreing and having a lighter color at the tip, like at the base of my nail, and then a bright color which makes them look wider at the end. And then like, oh god, I just was like, I'm so tired at this point. I was doing this for like 3 or 4 hours. Like, it took forever. And this is what the finished look is. I am not happy with them at all. This is what I think they look like. I think they look like this. I don't even know where I found this on the internet. That's what I think they look like. They're just wide, and like the ombre is nice and the color is nice, but I made them way too wide. And honestly, I ended up shaving them down. I tried to fix them with glitter. So here's what I tried to fix it with some glitter here. Yeah, anyway, I ended up filing them down, doing something different. But I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting more videos soon, so stay tuned.